Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Fresh on Clips. It's Luca Kassab here with Chris Rodriguez and
I
SB.
Yes, sir. Sasha Blyumkin is his real name.
Yeah, so Sasha, let's hear
Bro.
what are we thinking of this Clippers Nuggets series, Sasha?
So it's looking like a good matchup. Last game was pretty exciting. Kawhi went off that game.
Yup,
Zubac
yup.
had a great performance too, really solid, you know, putting up good numbers all around. But let's talk about Jokic, man. What's up with him?
Too
You
many
want to go?
turnovers.
Yeah, he's tripping, bro.
Yeah.
Jokic, bro.
I
He's
mean,
a,
yeah.
yeah.
Wait, you said 7 turnovers, Luca?
Yeah, 7 turnovers game two after only one in game one.
Yeah, that's on Jokic. I mean, I don't remember the last time he's had 7 turnovers in a game. I think that's one of his best attributes is that he doesn't turn the ball over. But I think that doesn't really happen. I feel like Jokic is the type of person to learn. I don't think that will dictate. I don't really think. I mean, obviously, you got to credit the Clippers because they're a good team. They got Kawhi. I know he got a couple steals on Jokic, but I don't think that that's going to be Jokic the rest of the series. I think that it was just a bad game, and I think that Jokic will improve forward. And I think I had Nuggets in 5 or Nuggets in 6, and
Nuggets
that's still the
six, what you
no
have.
Nuggets in 6. That's still the case.
So Sasha, based on what you've seen from Jokic,
Yeah,
Kawhi, Harden, Zubac, your GOAT Russell Westbrook, what are we
yeah.
thinking right now with this series? Nuggets or
This
Clippers?
series, as I was saying, going into this series, I thought Nuggets were going to take it in 5 or 6, but looking after these two games, it could go either way. To be honest, it's been a really good series so far. I mean, we've seen Jokic. We know what he could do. Didn't perform as good as we would have liked last game, but he still hit a triple double. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
So are we leaning towards Denver then in the series?
Um, it's a hard say. I'm gonna say Denver in 7, but it could go
Denver in 7.
could
Went
go
from
either way.
Denver
To
in
be
5
honest.
to Denver in 7 off 2 games. Wow.
Yeah.
Both games have been
No.
close though. First one went to
Yeah.
overtime. This one they were 7 seconds away, one three-pointer made from a second overtime. And it's hard to win a game seven in Denver, so I see where he's coming from.
Do you know what I'll tell you about that, Luca? This is really looking like the Nuggets series last year versus the Lakers. Every game went down to the wire. Every game was kind of a
Um,
close game.
we've won a
Um,
game already, so it's not the same.
no, no, but look. The Clippers are a different team, obviously, but I'm just saying that this is really kind of Denver's territory. I think that Denver are still in control of this series. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. I like it. SB,
Yeah.
thank you for hopping on.
Of
We love
course.
we love the takes and we'll see you soon.
I'll be around.
Peace.
Peace.
So as we mentioned, the Clippers tied 1-1, coming back to LA where the Clippers have been 11-1 since the All-Star break at home. The best record in the NBA. And honestly, especially with what the Denver coach said today about the wall, the Clippers crowd is going to be energetic. If you didn't hear it, Denver's coach said that the Clippers are adding noise to the wall to make the arena sound louder, which A is insulting, but B, let's prove them wrong, Wall. So again, if you're in LA, please show up. Tickets are affordable. Steve Ballmer has not raised the price, and let's make some noise. Let's make history. But Chris, so far off these off these two games, we mentioned Kawhi big game two with a Jokic kind of stinker. Game one was a big Harden game. Denver had a big AG game, big game from Jokic. CB had a solid one, but a Kawhi 7 turnovers. So, Chris, what are we thinking so far about this series?
I think the Clippers have definitely surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and cap on the podcast, but I think that they surprised a lot of people. No one. I think Clippers were forgotten. Kawhi was forgotten. James was forgotten. Ty Lue was forgotten. I think that in these first 2 games, the Clippers really earned the people's respect. That we're still here. We are contenders. I'm sure that everyone in the organization believes that they could win a championship. I mean, when you have Harden and Kawhi on the same team, you kind of that's your hope, right? But they definitely earned my respect. I definitely didn't think that they were going to come out like this, but you could definitely tell they're hungry as well, right? No team comes out like this that isn't hungry. I mean, they just took Denver to 2 very close battles, 2 very close games that could have really got on either way. But they managed to take one game in Denver, which is very good for them. I think this is going to be a very entertaining series. I think that this will be probably the best first round series that we're going to get. But yeah, obviously strong performance by Kawhi. I mean, that's vintage Kawhi right there. That's Toronto Raptors, Spurs, Kawhi Leonard right there that we saw. I mean, that's actually better. That's way
We
better
have
than
2021 playoffs Kawhi out here. Never
yeah.
forget how good he was in that playoff run before he got hurt.
Yeah, I'm tripping. I'm saying like I'm trying to remember Toronto Kawhi. No, this is better than Toronto Kawhi. He's looking way more comfortable out on the court. He's getting to his spots. He's being a pest defensively, which is what we're known to seeing him. And the Clippers have been doing a good job on Jokic. I mean, 7 turnovers. That's obviously the Clippers. You got to give Clippers credit for that. So definitely strong start by the Clippers, and the Nuggets definitely have some scheming to do.
Yeah, big thing you mentioned the Jokic turnovers and the scheming the Clippers have done. It's been really interesting to see because in the regular season we had Zubats. When Zubats was guarding him, no help or anything. Now you watch it. The Clippers are willing to concede 3-point shots if it means that Jokic is getting the ball out of his hands. We can highlight the spins of Jokic. That's something that's been automatic. The spin into the hook and the little baby hook or the fadeaway. But Chris Dunn, let's give a lot of credit to him. He's he's reading the steal. He's reading the timing of Jokic, which is just insane to me because Jokic moves so slowly. And every time Jokic has the ball, a second guy's coming, sometimes a third guy on the way. And you can highlight the fact that guys like Murray, CB have made open threes off of this. But would you rather give Jokic, who shoots 60% from the field, one of his money fadeaways, or make Christian Brown, a guy who this year shot 43% from three, but prior to that never shot above 37? Jamal Murray, who's pretty streaky during the regular season. I get his playoffs. It's Jamal Murray's time. Westbrook, who 4 for 32 from three last year. It's getting the ball out of Jokic's hands, and the Clippers have done such a good job of that. And I'd also like we got to highlight the fact that the Clippers have been in both games with potential, in my eyes, biggest all-star snub, Norman Powell, not playing well. Game one, I thought was just a lapse, whatever. Game two, this dude had the first 5 shots of the game and was
Yep.
0 for 5. He was, but we will give Norm his
I think he
credit.
had a turnover there in there as well.
Yup. Norm started the game horribly. He was getting to his spots. He was getting good looks, just could not hit a shot. But we are going to give Norm Powell his props. The same way that Clippers Twitter will never do, Clippers fan base will never do because they have zero patience. You need to continue to trust our guys. There's a reason Ty Lue's the coach and we don't have Twitter coaches. Norm Powell, in that fourth quarter alone, had 7 points. He finished the game with 13. He was 3 for 4 in that one stretch. He was 3 for 4 in the fourth quarter. The rest of the game, he was the rest of the game, he was 1 for 10.
Wow.
But big props to Norm Powell. And I told you after game one, anyone who watched my recap knew a better Jamal Murray game was on the way. Aaron Gordon hooped in game one, outplayed Kawhi, had 25. Jamal Murray shot 6 for 19. Then he comes out yesterday, 2 days ago, comes out 21 points, 23 points, shoots over 50%, got good looks for other players, and actually put some effort in on defense. So the fact we won the great Jamal Murray game and lost the terrible Jamal Murray game is surprising to me, but it also shows that both games could have gone either way.
I mean, yeah, to kind of just touch on your point, Luca, I think that all that you said was correct, but as a Clipper fan, you really gotta worry about that because when your star player Kawhi Leonard obviously goes off, it's great, right? But he's gassing for air, right? You guys won, but he's gas. He's literally there, hands on his knees, right? He's gassing, right? And then we talk about Norm Powell, who didn't have the best game, and I don't know if it was this podcast or it was another, or I don't know if it was this series or another, but Norman Powell has to play good. In order for the Clippers to win, he has to play good. You can't live with that, 1 for 10. You can't live with those 5 misses. You can't live with that turnover. Unless obviously Kawhi is going to go for 40 every game, which is probably he's great, but it's unrealistic, right? He's gassed. You could tell. You saw it in his play. You saw it. He was gassed. So obviously, great game by Kawhi and the Clippers, but the Clippers definitely have work to do. The Clippers could have won this game by much more.
Yeah,
Um,
both sides did not play well enough. And that's what
yeah.
makes this series so interesting to me is the fact that neither team has played at their peak yet.
You kind of yeah, I agree. But yeah, I agree. Great. But definitely the Clippers have to step up if they want to win this game. It can't just be Kawhi. It can't. It really can't.
Zubats had a pretty solid game. Actually, we're to the point in Zubats' career
Yeah, I was about
where
to say,
16 and 12
don't
on
say that.
16 and 12 on barely above 50% from the field is not good enough. We need better.
Not in the playoffs, not against Jokic, not against Denver.
Yep. But both sides it feels like have not played well enough.
Yep.
We can highlight game one. So let's actually highlight first off before I
I
even
don't
get
know. Hold on. I don't know if you
yeah.
heard this, Luca, but the saying is the series doesn't start until the home team loses. So the series officially started for the Nuggets and Clippers. So game three in LA is definitely going to be exciting.
Yes. So let's get to this point here. Both sides, like MPJ, terrible game one, mentally checked out. Game two comes out 15 and 15. Have I ever seen MPJ get 15 rebounds? No. Did he? Yes. And partially because the Clippers love running this small guard lineup.
Yep.
Their starting lineup has three guys under 6'4". Norm Powell, Chris Dunn, James Harden. Denver starts Aaron Gordon, they start MPJ, and they start Jokic, who are all above 6'10". CB, Christian Brown. I
That's
like
hot.
calling him CB.
He jumps
He's
hella.
mad athletic. And then you have Westbrook, who is the greatest rebounding guard of all time. And you're still closing the game with three guards. It makes no sense to me. And both games, the Clippers have been out rebounded. But this one we got lucky because this one they only got out rebounded 50 to 34. Game one, it was greater than that. 50 to 32 in this game, and game one, it was 50 to 30. So the Clippers need to find more minutes to give to Derrick Jones Jr. Batum. Even though Derrick Jones Jr. hasn't been shooting the three-pointer well, he's still a high impact player. He makes plays defensively and he boxes out, something that James Harden and Norman Powell do not do. They are ball watchers. Batum, I feel like we have this conversation every year. He's old. His legs are not the same as they used to be. But he is so impactful for winning that when it comes to playoff time, there should not be a single game he's under 24 minutes. Single one. He's so far in the series shot 11 shots. He's made five of them. Every single shot he's taken's been a three-pointer. And they've all been like we can highlight in game one the fadeaway double teamed with no time on the clock. Buzzer beater. That was a shot that probably should have kept him in the game because he had been that good. And then game two, out of the Zubats read on when they send two at Zubats because Jokic can't guard him because he's weak, soft, and a flopper, right? When they're sending two at Zubats, Zubats is making the read. Batum, 2 for 5 from three. And one of those two was the no dip, just shoot it from up here
Yeah.
three. So we got to find more minutes for these bigger guys because at the end of the day, the one of the big weaknesses of the Clippers is rebounding. And it wasn't like that in the regular season. But it's clear now because of the way we run our rotations, because of the amount of time we play smaller, especially without a backup center, we have to rebound the basketball. And that's something Denver does well. They get a board, they like to run. They get second and third opportunities because they have Russell Westbrook and Aaron Gordon, two of the most hustle players in basketball.
Yep. And kind of just to touch on that, we have to really give Batum his praise. I mean, he's a true professional when it comes to basketball. What I've noticed about Batum is he hits very timely shots when the Clippers are in a drought, when they can't score, when the Denver Nuggets have been beating him up, or any team in general. Batum is usually the first guy to spark it up. He's usually the first guy to make a three, make that extra pass. Just Batum is always the first guy to kind of ignite that kind of fire into the Clippers, where it's like, okay, now it's our turn. Now it's our turn to, give him a hit. So I think, yeah, Batum, Tyler definitely has to incorporate Batum in there. Just because, he's a true professional. He knows what to do on the court. He doesn't do dumb stuff. He keeps the ball safe. So definitely.
So let's move more another way, just to highlight both the Clippers and the Nuggets, and they're basically flopping of games. So game one, Clippers got out rebounded, but the other weakness of the Clippers, because they're an older team, is transition. And then you flip to Denver, and that's where they want to play. Their first in transition points in the league. Christian Brown, a guy who loves to push the pace, loves to run the floor. Same with Westbrook. And game one, you saw that. Clippers had 20 turnovers. Game two, Clippers have 11 turnovers. Game one, transition points, much higher for Denver. Game two, transition points, they had 11 in the first quarter, didn't have another one after. So, a big thing is the Clippers, their adjustment was instead of, for example, Zoo tapping it when he was going for a board, instead of trying to grab it, tapping it outward to get an extra shot for a guy like Harden, he stopped doing that because the Denver Nuggets run, right? Whereas in game one, they were consistently trying to tap it. There was a lot of complaining from James Harden and zero emphasis on getting back. Then we look at Denver, who in game one, they had all these points in transition. That was why Christian Brown had 11, 3, and 2. Whereas in game two, they didn't get out and run as much. So
Yep.
CB only had 5 points. So it kind of shows the chess match that's happening right now between Denver's coach and Alderman, who don't get me started on him. I can't stand him. And Ty Lue, because you see the adjustments that are being made, and you kind of see that Alderman hasn't been an NBA coach.
Facts. Facts.
And we'll talk the Clippers side. The Clippers are a really heavy 3-point oriented team, and they haven't been hitting threes, honestly.
Hmm.
Batum's been hitting, but Derrick Jones Jr. is yet to hit a three on the season in the series. He shot 37% from three this year, which surprised me actually to see. Bogdanovich and Norm Powell, two guys who shot above 40% from three this season. So far in the series, who do you think has more three-pointers this series? Russell Westbrook by himself or Bogdanovich plus Norm?
It should be Bogdanovich, but just by the way you phrase that question, probably Russell Westbrook.
So Russell Westbrook is 5 for 12 from three in the series, which that surprised me more than anything else.
Yep.
Bogdanovich and Norm Powell combined are 4 for 14. Bogdanovich is yet to hit a field goal in the series, and defensively he's getting hunted. The Nuggets, the Nuggets
Oh yeah,
allow
Murray was frying Bogdanovich.
Murray hunts him, Jokic hunts him for the switch, and it's one of those things. If Bogey's not hitting shots, what is he doing for the Clippers?
Nothing.
He had one play game two where he stripped Westbrook. It was pretty clearly a foul on Bogdanovich. Westbrook fans do not come after me. I admit it. Went to the rim and just dished it to DJJ. But that's the one great play he's made the entire series. Right?
Yeah.
So if they're not making shots and Westbrook's hitting corner threes. Note the corner three is the easiest shot in basketball, in my opinion, outside of a layup. Then
Yeah.
what's the point of it? What we've basically swapped roles. Westbrook has swapped shootings with Bogdanovich.
Yeah. I mean, um, kind of just to touch on that, Luca, what I've been noticing is that the Clippers aren't the same team that they were in the regular season. Like we mentioned, they aren't used to running that small ball lineup that we've been seeing. They're used to kind of like you said, being a reliant 3-point shooter. And they haven't been doing that this series. Which is it's pretty scary, but it's a good thing as well. Um, it's not a good thing because you put a lot of pressure on Harden and Westbrook. And as the Clippers, they aren't that team where it's just like we're only good because of Harden and Westbrook. They're not like that at all.
Kawhi,
They
right?
they
Kawhi.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean Kawhi and
Yeah.
Westbrook. I mean Kawhi and Harden. They aren't like that at all. They have a really good machine. Like we said, Zubac, Powell. You got Bogdanovich hitting threes. They aren't like that at all. And it's scary because it's like you've kind of not been used to what you were doing the whole time. You're kind of switching to something new. And you're kind of experimenting. But like I said in the last pod, experimenting in the playoffs is a very dangerous game. It's like taking a risk. It's like taking a gamble because you don't want to experiment because your season's on the line. You have a lot to lose here, right? So that's kind of what you want to do in the regular season. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how the Clippers come out game three. Um, you kind of want to relieve that pressure from Leonard, but yeah.
Yeah, so the big thing, Bogdanovich not hitting. Norm, the big thing is that this roster, the way it's constructed, is it needs to be done in a way where it's constructed in a way Norm Powell has to be playing well for us to play well. because Bogdanovich, he is a shot creator, but he is a known streaky shot creator. You saw that start for the Clippers when he first came over here. He wasn't hitting his open threes. He's a very confidence-driven player. But then as the season went on, as he got more reps with the Clippers following the trade deadline, he slowly got into a more confident, let's get to the mid-range fade, let's shoot more catch and shoot threes, let's swing and relocate. And that's something that's gone away. But Norm Powell, when he's not looking to score, the Clippers don't have another shot creator. They don't have an easy replacement for Norm Powell because you sub in a dude like DJJ of Batum. They're not looking to create, they're not putting the ball on the ground usually. So it becomes okay, Kawhi and Harden. And Harden got away. If we had lost game two, I think a lot of the blame would have gone on Harden. He did a great job in game one, taking care of the ball. And in game two, he matched his turnovers in just the first quarter by itself. He had five in game two. And that's just the big thing is Harden's a known streaky playoff player. We can highlight the Sixers Celtics series in 2022. We can highlight the Houston times, even the Brooklyn seasons. But at the end of the day, Harden doesn't have to play the best he possibly can for us to win this series. The series comes down to, is Kawhi Leonard going to consistently score the ball and be aggressive? Is Ivica Zubats getting his post looks because he's automatic? And one of Bogdanovich or Norm Powell going to score the basketball? Because neither are very good defenders. Though I will say Norm played very great defense game two. He locked in after getting picked up by Jamal Murray. And Bogdanovich just cannot defend. He's one of those guys who it's fringe. He's unplayable if he's not hitting shots.
We need the Clippers need Olympic Bogdanovich. I mean, against Team USA, he was going crazy.
That's what he does. So
Wait, Luca, let me ask you this.
yes.
You kind of said how Norman Powell there wasn't really a replacement for him. You mentioned Batum, you mentioned Derrick Jones Jr. Do you think that there's anyone on the bench that Ty Lue isn't playing that,
No,
should
definitely
be
not.
playing? No?
Definitely
Everyone
not.
else is kind of just like
I love Jordan Miller. Jay Mills, if you're watching, I love you. But
not
he's
in the playoffs.
he hasn't gotten enough reps. It's kind of the same thing that we were saying with Terrence Shannon in the Lakers series. He's just a younger dude. He's a rookie. Jordan Miller just got an NBA contract this season about a month ago. He balls out in the G League, but there's no way he's built for the NBA playoffs right now.
I agree, bro.
We have depth, but it's not enough. It's not the depth where we throw one of these guys in.
Bro, Luca, do you remember that time, 2014, 2015, where out of nowhere, Doc would just put like Turglue in? Like,
Yes.
I would be like, yo, what is going on? Dude, I remember game seven against the Spurs, he put Turglue in for a bit. I was like, what is going on here?
Trust.
Why are you putting this last guy? He doesn't even cheer for us when we score. I
I
remember
know.
seeing him on the bench. He would be the only guy sitting down when DJ or Blake would catch a lob. And I'd be like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we have a guy to really experiment with. We have our core guys, keep running through them. And if Bogdanovich isn't scoring the ball, we have a core eight. Simmons can give you 8 to 10 good minutes of
Yeah.
play. And he was great game too. But so, Chris, here's my big question for you. As
Yep.
someone who I assume is rooting for Denver in this series, what
Yep.
does Denver have to do to win this series?
What does Denver have to do to win this series? I mean, obviously you want to cut off the head of the snake first. Obviously, well, that's pretty much
Can't
every
guard
team.
Kawhi. Kawhi is
Look,
24 for 34 in this series, just so we know,
Yep,
and
look.
10 for 10 when Murray guards him.
Yeah. So you're not gonna beat Kawhi with one person. You kind of saw the Nuggets zoning a bit. The Nuggets zoning a bit. And like you also mentioned, Bogdanovich isn't hitting. Norman Powell isn't hitting. Ben Simmons can't shoot to save his life, right? So you kind of saw, I think they kind of played like a 3-2 almost. I don't know if you saw that, right?
He's more of a
But
1-2-2.
Kyle went 1-2-2-3-2,
Yeah.
something like that, right? Something like that. But I feel like in order to really stop this team right now, quite those players aren't hitting. So I think that the zone offense that they've been doing, I think they just have to pack it tighter because they were a little bit too I guess branched out because what Kawhi would do, bro, what I saw is he would catch the ball in the middle. And yeah, there would be two guys on the wing trying to help, right? But Kawhi wasn't even like trying to go around Murray. He would literally just go into Murray. He would go into Murray all the way until the paint, and then that's when he would shoot the jump shot. So you can't do that. You can't let Murray. The point of the two wings are to help Murray. when he gets sunken down. So I feel like the Nuggets really have to hone in on Kawhi. Don't let because Kawhi's strong, bro. Kawhi is strong. Don't let Murray and Kawhi just be on an island alone. You have to really be there for help. And kind of like the other series, you kind of have to just like the Nug or the Clippers are kind of letting the Nuggets shoot a bit. That's kind of what the Nuggets have to do. Kind of let the Clippers be like, all right, force us to play defense, Clippers. Force us to go out there and leave Kawhi for a bit and make us guard your 3-point shooters. So I think it's really going to come down to that. I think that Jokic is going to have to not turn over the ball. He can't have 7 turnovers. There's no way in hell that you win a game with Jokic having 7 turnovers. Um, I think he has to do good. Obviously, Westbrook, he's obviously kind of like you either win the game, lose the game with Westbrook. He has to play very productive minutes. I know he's in there a lot at the end of the game. I know Michael Malone, he took out it's basically the starters with Christian Braun and Westbrook on the floor instead of Aaron Gordon and
No, it's so
Michael.
they start their starting five in Westbrook. CB starts at the two for them.
CB starts?
Yeah, CB starts at the two for them, but it just shows their lack of depth though,
Yeah,
because
yeah, it
they
does.
have their core six that they play, and Westbrook replaces MPJ or MPJ plays and Westbrook sits.
Yeah. Basically, like I said, Westbrook has to really good give minutes. I mean, you guys experienced Westbrook in the playoffs last year. I mean, it wasn't too it
Ugh.
was it wasn't too good. So maybe he could do stuff that he didn't do last year in LA. But yeah, I think it's really gonna come down again to the defense. I think that defense wins championships like you get taught in basketball because it really does, right? You
Yeah.
could at this level, it's not really about putting the ball in the hoop because everyone can score. Everyone can hoop. I mean, they're in the NBA. They can all go get a bucket when they need to. But not everyone can sit down. Not everyone can outcoach the other coach. Not everyone can, be in help side. Not everyone can be engaged defensively. Not everyone could get steals, hands active. Not everyone could do that, right? So I think the Nuggets, if they really want to win this series, they have to really pack down the paint and make the Clippers beat you on the three.
Okay. And I see your argument there. I'm going to shift towards what the Clippers have to do, time constraints, that type of stuff. So, Clippers, we've kind of touched on it. They're not shooting the ball very well, but defensively they have to continue letting a guy like Westbrook shoot, for example. Game
Yeah, for
one,
sure.
he had a great game one. He was 5 for 17 from the field.
Yep.
Game two, not as many shots up, hit some big corner threes, was 3 for 6 in that game from three. And you got to keep living with them. But offensively is where I think it needs to be changed. We have to continue to attack Jokic. Jokic is either going to do one of two things. He's going to foul you. If you get to the ball in the post, right? No one helps. Jokic is either going to flop or he's going to foul. He can't play straight up with anyone. He can't play in the action. So the same thing that the Nuggets were trying to do with the Murray Jokic pick and roll, the Clippers have to do with the Harden Zoo pick and roll. Continue to put Jokic in the action and make him play some quality defense. He's played 43 minutes and 40 minutes in these first two games.
Jesus Christ.
They don't have a backup big. DeAndre Jordan is their backup center in the big 2025. So we have to continue to attack that. Let's make Jokic play defense because if Jokic gets in foul trouble, what is going to happen to this Nuggets team?
A lot. They could really destroy. Yeah, Jokic and foul trouble would be big.
So, Chris, you're staying with this Nuggets in six prediction?
I am. I'm not like Sasha who just changes his pick after two. I mean, like, what are you doing? Are you gonna change the pick every single game? Like, what
Oh,
is
yeah,
it?
I've changed my take too. I had
Oh,
Clippers in
really?
seven to begin with. We're Clippers in six. We're winning both at home.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
11-1 since the break.
I mean, hold
Harden,
up. Before
yeah.
before we kind of, at the, this is all, I guess, macro. You could really test all this that we're talking about, but at the end of the day, it's the Clippers. You really have to take account to that. At the
Yes,
end
I
of
take
the
account. But
day,
first,
it's the Clippers.
This Clippers team is different.
Oh,
You
hey
feel the
Luca, if I
vibe.
had if I had $1 for the amount of times I've heard that, I would be rich
I've
as
only said
hell.
that. I've only said that as
No,
a
I'm not saying from you. I'm saying from Clipper fans, bro. Oh, this is a different team. We got a new coach. We got a new owner. Like, bro,
No, this
just think.
Clippers team is for
All right.
real different because they make their money on the defensive side of the ball.
I mean, hey man, we gotta see. I've been on the other end of this. I've said that trillions and trillions of times, but I decided that I wanted to live a happy life. So I didn't. You can't really do that as a Clipper fan because
Buddy jump ship after Chris Paul left.
no, not nothing like that. Nothing like that. I'm not the type of person to jump ship. But it's the Clippers. At the end of the day, they're known for choking. They're known for embarrassing themselves in front of their own fans. They're known for just doing what you could doing everything that you could possibly do to lose a series. That's what they're known for doing. So at the end of the day, you have to take account for that. If it's not this series, it's the next series. But I still say Nuggets in 6.
I'm saying Clippers in 6. We win both at home right here. Two good games. James Harden got away with a fake stinker, which means playoff Harden's due for a great game. He had a great
Yep.
game, game one. Game two was mediocre. Game three is due for a big game. Let's go, Uno. Norm Powell and Bogey are going to have a game. They go explosive from three. The magnet ball is coming. And the crowd in the dome is going to carry us. Their energy is contagious, and especially with Denver shooting 49 free throws to our 28, those misses are going to come because of the wall. Let's go.
Hey, when's the next game? When's the next game?
Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, but it's not on TNT. It's on NBA TV because, we want to watch Memphis lose by 30 again.
No way. No way the NBA did the Clippers dirty like that.
They always, but whatever. Who cares? First playoff game in the Dome tomorrow. Jokic coming off a bad game, storyline coming along there. Kawhi coming off probably the third or fourth best game of his NBA career. See what happens. Go
Luca,
Clippers.
we ever gonna catch you at a game?
If we get to the second round, I'll be there. I'll be back from school. You'll see me at every game on the wall. Let's go, Clippers.
All right.
Clips in 6. Peace.
Clippers bring it in. 5 seconds to go. Tie game. Seatbelts are fastened. Lou Williams for the win. Bingo!
Oh my goodness.
God, he got it! 1 second left. Clippers by 2.
The three for the tie. Oh my goodness!